Welcome to this week's edition of Valpo Basketball Preview, joined by head coach Bryce Drew. This is Todd Ickow, Crusaders with 2 games this week, both in Orlando. And Bryce, the obvious question first is you've got Keith Carter now eligible. He obviously is right in the rotation. How do you work him in?
Well, first we're excited to go to Florida. I think we're excited to be down there for a couple of days. It's a great tournament. We've played Central Florida down there before. They have great facilities and very nice school and an excellent team, as our fans know when they played up here earlier. So, we're looking forward to these games. I think with Keith coming in, it'll be a great opportunity for him and our team to start to bond and get together ready for conference. But it also presents some challenges because our rotations will change. Lineups and combinations will change, and how quickly can we adapt to those changes?
As you talk about rotations, lineups, maybe even numbers, you kind of have settled into a rotation a little bit, but there still has been some work, young kids. It's going to change throughout the first month or two of the season. But one thing that's been consistent with your dad and with you is settling on 8, 9 guys at the most. Now you've got 9 guys in the rotation, and obviously Keith Carter's going to be a rotation player. Is there a chance that this year would play out with 10 guys in the rotation, which would be kind of a high number for you?
John Wooden, perhaps the greatest college coach of all time, he always played an 8-man rotation, and it was top 8, and that was it. I think with the amount of fouls that are being called and with the speed of the game, sometimes, it helps to go 10, 11 deep. And I know as a staff we feel very comfortable putting, guys in the game. We played 11 in the first half last game. And so with Keith, that'll give us another player. But I don't look for a set number going in 8, 9, or 10. I think a lot of matter on foul trouble and pace of the game.
Okay. Southeastern's the first game, non-Division I team. Now a good NAIA program. They're 8-1 right now. And then you have Central Florida, which is going to be a very difficult game on the road. How much time do you put into the first school? And how much time do you put into the second school, which figures to be the tougher game?
We'll prep for Southeastern. The good thing is we already played Central Florida, and so our players will be familiar with them. But our prep this week will be mainly for our first game on Saturday, and then after that game we'll review the scout that we did for Central Florida the first time.
Southeastern, it's an interesting NAIA school. It's not like the 91s you played in Cincinnati Christian and North Park. Those were blowouts. Those kind of truthfully expected to be blowouts. This is a much different situation. They've got a guy who I think scored 33 points in an exhibition game against Florida State. They've got a center who's 6'9". He's averaging 18 points and 14 rebounds. A lot of their guys could be Division I players. So it'll be a much tougher game than the previous 91 games.
Yeah, no question. Central Florida's tournament, so they got the teams for the tournament, and it'll be a great challenge for our guys. I think for Keith coming in, in his first game with us, like you said, it's going to be a game. We're going to have to guard. We're going to have to play. We'll have to play well to win that game.
And they've got a really good 6'1" guard who's averaging over 20 points a game. So it'd be a good matchup.
Yeah.
You'll probably play some man, maybe some zone, but that will be we know Keith very athletic. He can defend. This will be a real good test for him right off the bat.
And they're 8-1. I don't care what level that you're at. Winning is hard, and when you win at any level, being 8-1, it means that you're good.
Tougher to beat a team a second time, especially on the road, and that's the test you'll have for Central Florida. You went through the exact same situation 5 years ago. They came in, very good team. Guys beat them soundly, went to Orlando, and they beat you. It's much tougher in that second game, as you see throughout the conference season when the second game is on the road.
It'll be great preparation for our guys to get ready for conference, because we'll do this, another 8 times this year where we'll have to play a team a second time. And so, for our guys, this is going to happen the rest of the season. So get used to seeing similar faces and trying to make adjustments when we play a team a second time.
We would be remiss if we finished up without talking about the week that Alec Peters had. Just one ball game with 30 points, and what has become increasingly obvious is teams have trouble matching up with him. He showed early on in the ball game that the shot missed a couple perimeter shots. They had a smaller player on him, so he went inside. And he scored a couple baskets inside, and that got him going from the perimeter. And again, you put a small guy on him, he can take you inside. And that's unlike a lot of the great shooters that have played in Valpo in the past, right?
Yeah, he's very multi-dimensional. His high school coach moved him around a lot from inside to outside because he saw a variety of defenses in high school. And so I think he's very comfortable inside and very comfortable outside. And for a freshman or for any player, what a tremendous game, 30 points, 8 rebounds, and just how efficient he was in getting those things done. And so, he's obviously a big part of our program and a big part of our offense.
Happy to have him.
Very happy to have him.
I'm certain. Thanks, Coach.
Thank
And we'll talk to you next week. So long on Valpo Basketball Preview.